Hello, Cattails, Time Cop from the future. Have you been approached by a man in a bowler hat? Sorry, I needed to. If that didn't make it obvious, we're talking about Meet the Robinsons, the animated film from 2007 following Lewis, an orphan inventor who wants to find his mom. In the pursuit of his mother, he makes a machine that can see your memories, and brings it to the science fair where he meets Wilbur Robinson, a time cop from the future, as he tells Lewis. During this meeting, Wilbur tells Lewis that a suspicious figure known as Bowler Hat Guy is out to get him. Lewis quickly dismisses Wilbur and goes on with his day, only for his project to be sabotaged by Bowler Hat Guy. From there, Wilbur takes a distraught Lewis to the future. They break the time machine Wilbur was using, and Wilbur demands Lewis fix it. This leads to a deal being made between the two of them, that if Lewis fixes the machine, then Wilbur will take Lewis to the past to see his mom. Sometime later, Lewis has met Wilbur's family, and Bowler Hat Guy has reappeared. While Lewis was away, he stole his invention and tried to pass it off as his own. However, he didn't know how to work it, and so was now trying to kidnap Lewis to have him both fix it and show him how it turns on. This leads to wacky hijinks in which frogs and dinos are mind-controlled to try and kidnap Lewis. These events lead Lewis to become close enough with Wilbur's family that they want to adopt him. Wilbur quickly counters these plans by knocking Lewis's hat off, to which the family realizes who he is and says that they cannot adopt him. This causes a fight between Wilbur and Lewis that provides an opening for the Bowler Hat Guy to kidnap Lewis. Once Lewis fixes his invention, it is revealed that Bowler Hat Guy is in fact Goob, Lewis's roommate who blames Lewis for everything wrong with his life. Also, Lewis is Wilbur's dad. Fighting. They killed the robot? Rude. Anyways, Bowler Hat Guy's scheme works and the world sucks now, but this was never what he wanted. He was only being manipulated by Doris, his hat. Doris was holding a grudge against Lewis for making her into a helping hat. So now in a Doris-centric world, Lewis finally fixes the time machine and goes back in time to stop Bowler Hat Guy from going through with the plan. He tells Doris he's never going to invent her, and then takes Bowler Hat Guy back to the future to show him what Doris did to the future, and then he tries to adopt him. Wilbur is back after being de-existed. Anyway, Wilbur opposes this plan, and they have a little argument. Lewis pulls the dad card, forcing Wilbur to comply, but when they turn to adopt him, Bowler Hat Guy is gone. Lewis goes back to the science fair, stopping to change Goob's future on the way. He shows off his invention, gets adopted, and wham bam bibbidi bow, that is roughly the end of the movie. I feel like Meet the Robinsons has a great understanding of its story. The director was adopted, so we felt a great connection to Lewis as someone who experienced something similar, and I think it shows. I always feel like a story will be better when you care about it. It's like the saying, write when you know, only I would say write what you feel passionate about. If that's special effects, stories about orphans, or dragons, it's always going to be better if you care about it. And I feel like that's a big lesson to take away from this movie, aside from the central theme of keep moving forward. So, what you may or may not know is that this was based off of a book called A Day with Wilbur Robinson, and glancing at the available images, they didn't deviate from the designs of the characters much at all. Lewis and Wilbur look the same, as do Uncle Art, Carl, Tallulah, and others. Lewis is pointedly not a time traveler in this book, nor is Wilbur, but it still has all the wild fun of the movie. Humorously, they kept the plotline about Grandpa needing help finding his teeth in the movie from the book. Perhaps it was such a great way to introduce everyone that they had to. Some characters did get cut from the movie though, like the second and third dinos from this cover, and Uncle Orbly. I also didn't locate Uncle Joe, who was in the movie, but not in the book. Moving on. For this video, I hunted through the internet for production details about this thing, and there are actually a few cool things I didn't know or notice at the time I watched it. For one, the All-American Rejects performed The Future Has Arrived by Danny Elfman, who did all the music for the film. And this was also part of that awkward phase in Disney history where they were transitioning into 3D animation. So, it doesn't quite look like a Disney film on account of that, because it is, again, that weird phase where it's not quite prepared to do it. And then the director was Stephen J. Anderson, and this was his directorial debut. He voiced Bowler Hat Guy, Grandpa Bud, and Cousin Tallulah, which I thought was really impressive, particularly Cousin Tallulah. I would not have guessed. They also got Tom Selleck as the voice actor for Cornelius, so they could make the joke about Wilbur's dad looking like Tom Selleck. And there was a deleted scene in which Lewis brought Bowler Hat Guy into the past to help him win the big game as Goob, which I often wish had been in the actual film because that would be really cool, and it would make it about Bowler Hat Guy changing his own future and moving forward. You know, the big central theme of the movie. So, final thoughts on this movie. Put simply, I think it's pretty awesome. I love this film so much. It's on point with the comedy, at least for me. It's very fun, it's a great family film, and it's got a great message, just like keep moving forward. It's all around just a really good time of a movie, and I would fully recommend it to anyone who wants to watch it. If spoilers don't ruin things for you, watch it. And honestly, I've watched this film so many times, I can safely tell you that even though I have spoiled parts of it, it is worth watching. For sure. I love it so much. But that's all, folks. And remember, keep moving forward.